being to stand vigil for signs of his return. Even exile to another realm could not silence the fallen god forever. And in time, Adir's malignant influence pervaded the world once more. In his hunger for vengeance, Adir orchestrated the return of his demonic army. Light was swallowed by shadow, and with it, hope. A new, grim champion arises, the Dark Crusader. And perhaps it will indeed come to pass that only they who shun the light in order to fight the darkness possess the power to defy a god.
Ah. Ah, you again.
Reject, dismiss, and if you Why do you refuse to open your eyes to their manipulations? To millennia of shameful distortions of the truth? For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me, and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges, their crazed tyrants, killed those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Reaper as a means to bring them to the madness, they too were no match for the ancient forces. Even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a dog, despite their best efforts. In a world left black and demigods, figures of worship, their real ambition all too clear. The people deluded themselves into believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood? Where are they? Orcs and the abhorrent, umbral creature. They are cowards, hiding in falsehood and obfuscating shadow. Deemed unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you with true words, open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones. Listen to the insistent hubris of humanity. Shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. Judges, crazed followers, butchered those who were loyal to me. And when I created the Rogar, to put an end to the madness, they were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world blackened and corpse-choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, men set up themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how much time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods, figures of worship and veneration, all too clear. Yet an outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing the triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their homes since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves. But they were sorely mistaken. Mankind hates me, now more than ever. And what of other beings who claim godhood? Where are they? What of Aureus and the abhorrent umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in foresight and obfuscating shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you, with true words and open arms. For I love all of my children, even the wayward ones. Listen to me. You must stop this before you allow yourself to condemn all of mankind for eternity. I am not your enemy, only what my own enemies fear. The loss of the dominion they have established for themselves in our absence. Cease your misguided violence. Now. You are in the presence of a god-human. Your god. I formed you from nothing and can just as easily destroy you. Yet you would dare defy my will. The insistent hubris of humanity. Shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guide, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a terrible war of slaughter. Their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Vulgar as a means to put an end to the madness, the two were no match for the evil forces. In the end, race of demigods. Because worship their real ambition all too clear. Yet in outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing in triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves. But they were sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. Other beings who claim godhood, where are they? What of Aureus and the abhorrent Umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in Forcelight and obfuscating shadow. Worthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you, with two words, open arms. For I love all of my children, wayward ones. Listen to me. You must stop this before you allow yourself to condemn all mankind for eternity. I am not your enemy, only what my own enemies fear. The loss of the dominion they have established for themselves in my absence. Cease your misguided violence. Now! You are in the presence of a god-human. I come from nothing and can just as easily destroy you. That you would dare defy my will. The world in which you exist is my world. My own. Mankind. My own creation. Exiled me from it. You have no idea what it is to suffer such a monstrous betrayal. Or to endure the ages of torment which follow. The insistent hubris of humanity.
Chosen bearer of the lamp, like you I serve until her embrace.
the Abbey.
shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those with power only now fans who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me and waged a war of needless slaughter. Followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Wilgar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. For though the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. Choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. The insistent hubris of humanity. Shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me, and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. Judges and their crazed followers butchered those who remained loyal to me. And when I created the Vulgar as a means to put an end to the madness, were no match for the evil forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. Blackened and corpse-choked by the crusade, the judges banished me to this battleground, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about freeing themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how little time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods. Because of worship, their real ambition all too clear. Yet an outcome blinded themselves into believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. War, greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind needs me now more than ever. Of other beings who claim godhood. Where are they? What of Orius and the abhorrent umbral creature? They are cowards, hiding in foresight and obfuscating shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you with true words. The insistent hubris of humanity. Shameful distortions of the truth. For eons, I stood as mankind's guardian, shepherding them with wisdom and love. Yet in return, I was betrayed. Those three power-hungry malefactors who declared themselves judges turned my own children against me, and waged a terrible war of needless slaughter. The judges and their crazed followers butchered those who belonged to me. And when I created the Rogar as a means to put an end to the madness, they too were no match for the heathen forces. In the end, even I fell. Although the judges found themselves unable to kill a god, despite their best efforts. In a world left blackened and corpse-choked by their crusade, the judges banished me to this barren realm, which has served as my prison ever since. Meanwhile, mankind set about ruling themselves, free from the divine oppression of which they accused me. And yet, how long time passed before the judges themselves were raised to the status of demigods? Because of worship, their real ambition all too clear. But in outcome, the people deluded themselves into believing a triumph. How much blood has been spilled in their names since my banishment? Far more than was ever spilled in my name. And now, after all the time mankind have had to shape their own destiny, see what they have made of it. Greed, hatred, suffering, chaos. They believed they were capable of guiding themselves, but have been proven sorely mistaken. Mankind hates me now more than ever. Of other beings foresight and obfuscated shadow, deeming you unworthy of their presence, their communion. And yet, here I stand before you with true words, open arms. For I love all of my children in wavelengths. Listen to me. You must stop this before you allow yourself to condemn all mankind for eternity. I am not your enemy, only what my own enemies fear. The loss of the dominion they have established for themselves in my absence. Cease your misguided violence. Now. You are in the presence of a god, human.